Hello everyone, it's Keesje. Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you my take on Nik the Booksmith's post-it notebook. And I'm going to use my hand-dyed papers, which I print lines on. And the lines is done with pressing, I think, Ctrl or the Shift key and then the button that's next to the 0 on the top there. And my font is 14 in the 14 size and Times New Roman. This will give you this many lines, this far apart. And first I will be trimming this because the edges are somewhat irregular. So I'll cut that off. And of course I will do 10 at a time because I will be using about 60 sheets in total. So if I do 30 sheets, that'll give me, okay, first of all I'm cutting this 5 high. Then I'll line this up with my mat, like so, a little higher so that you can see. And a little bit off because I want to cut the edge off. Because when you dye papers, first of all, it shrinks a little bit. And when I iron it, it will all go a different way. And my notebook is 3 1/4 wide by 5 high. And of course you're going to keep this leftover piece for doodling on later. So then, now you have a whole stack and they have to be glued. So I will line them up as good as I can. And I will place my clothespins on it first. Better close this up. Okay, I'm using regular gel mat and with a brush. So how I do it is I'll take one off. I'll take one clothespin off, sorry. Clean up the edge and put it back. Then I will do the outside, and the outside wants to separate, so I'll squeeze it a bit while I put glue on. Clean off the edges, otherwise my clothespin will be stuck to my paper. And I'll work my way down the line. Make sure you get glue everywhere. Well, not everywhere, of course, but everywhere inside your paper stack. Then I go back in and move my clothespins because, see, that one was already stuck. All right, now we let this dry. I'll clean this up. So the next step is to put a hard surface on the back of it so that you have an ease of, so that you have a sturdy backing. And I use packaging. This is from a instant coffee. Just cut it the same size and glue it to the last page. And then I will add fabric. So here's my fabric. I choose green. Well, the whole thing is going to be greenish. And I will cut 3 1/2. Remember how our paper was 3 1/2? 3 1/4. So I will cut 1/4 more because of the spine. I will wrap it around the spine. And it was 5 inches high. So this is my fabric cutter, 5 inches high. and this is my paper cutter. Now I'm using Fabri-Tac, and I will just be gluing along the edge. What I like about Fabri-Tac is it doesn't wrinkle your paper or your cardstock or anything. Okay, that was plenty. Line this up. And I still have time to move. Okay. Add a bead of glue along the spine. And press down. You have to hold this for a bit because this tends to come up. Oh, not bad. Okay, so you have to let this dry. A little bit too much glue here. Came straight through the fabric. I'm curious how this will show when it's dried out. We'll let this dry, and then the next step will be working on our cover. After we've finished our little booklet, it's time to do the cover. It's best to make the booklet first and then make the cover, because then you can fit it in to see if it's wide enough. You want to make it wider and higher than your booklet so that it has room to fold over. Now my book was 3 1/4 by 5, and I'm going to grab a piece of card. This is from a instant coffee, and I had to piece it. I had to put 2 pieces together, and I did that in the spine. And I have a piece that is 8 11/16 long by 5 1/4 high, and I score at 1, at 3/8, and then at 3 7/16, 3/8, and then 3/8, 3 3/8. And so now it's time to decorate the cover. And also I'm going to use magnets. So I will have a 1-inch flap. So I measured 1 inch. Here's the line. And my magnets are 1 inch away from the outside and 3/8 of an inch in. And I will grab my double-sided tape, and I have a scissor that only cuts this tape, doesn't cut anything else. And I will cover it again with a piece of tape. This way I know the magnets won't ever move again. And I'll take this off. Take this off. And I'm going to use some Fabri-Tac. And I will cover this with fabric strips. The first one is cut 1 inch wide so that it completely covers the magnets. And now the next one I will overlap just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. I will do some stitching because I also am going to add an elastic and this way you won't see the stitching as much because of the fabric is darker. Now it's just a matter of adding fabric. One more. Now we'll trim this. And because I've glued it down, it'll it won't move. And now I will zigzag everything in place. So now we'll be covering the inside. I have a piece of fabric that I will use for the inside, and I have a little piece of fabric that I will use as a pocket for the notebook to slide in. But before I am doing that, I will need to put my magnets on. So I have magnets here, so I will have to figure out where my magnets go on this side. So what I will do is I will get my book and I place my magnets on here, and the magnets only want to go one way. Then I'll grab some glue and I will be closing this. Now the glue will tell me where my magnets need to be, and again, don't worry, you're gonna see it. Maybe I didn't need to use the glue. Maybe they will stick to the double-sided tape. Oh, there you go. Like before covering this, oh, hang on, I forgot something. I have my elastic here, and I will be sewing the elastic on first. In the spine, in the middle, and with the closure on the back. I'll be right back. Okay, so I sewed it on, and I find my, yeah, see, there's looked lopsided, there. So now I can take the paper off. And I'll be using some Fabri-Tac to adhere my inside cover. Try not to glue where I need to sew. Especially in the spine area. Yeah, completely covered. Then I will cut this 5 1/4 high by 3 inches. It's already 3 inches. And I will be sewing this in over here. Oh, what? Oh yeah, it's too long, right? Ha! Scared myself for a little bit there. All right, I'll be back when this has been sewn in. Just a quick word here. I cut my piece of fabric larger and then I sewed it down. And now I would have to trim it, but now I would have to be really careful not to cut in my stitching. So next time I would recommend cutting it to size first, after you've glued it down. So I'll be trimming a little wide, just so, because I don't want to hit one of my stitches. Sun is starting to shine again. We had rain earlier today. Much needed. It's very dry over here. Well, I might want to trim this some more. Alright, I'll stitch in the pocket and then I will be back. So my pocket is in. So now I forgot to zigzag this edge. I will show you in another one where I have stitched it first, so that you don't have the ravelly edges there. And now I'm gonna see if my booklet fits in it. And I rounded the corners of the back part so that they slide in easier. So this will fit. But if you find it doesn't, it's too snug, that was actually happening with this one. I cut off a sliver over here and over here from the back part so that it slanted a bit. You can actually see where I stitched it, where I cut it. And now at least it will fit in here. Now the reason why I also have an elastic is because sometimes it doesn't want to close properly. I do have to teach the folds again to fold, because now there's like 2 layers of fabric on both sides. And so that's also a reason why I have, oh, and why this one is shorter, I miscut. So I have a few shorter pages. Alright, no, the other way around. See, I don't like this. So that's why the elastic comes in. Just goes around. I found a green one. It's not the proper green, but it'll do its job. So now you have a nice booklet for in your purse to write on notes, and you can tear the pages off as you go. Another reason why I made it this size was that if this is all gone, these booklets from Memo will actually fit in here now. So you can always refill it with another book. That's why I chose this size. All right. There you have it. Another project finished. Thank you for watching. Leave any comments or questions below, and please subscribe if you like them. See you in the next video. Bye.